Hey, welcome everybody. I'm Mark Robinson, and welcome to the Wealth Rewide podcast. And I am blessed again to have my beautiful co-host and amazing and gorgeous wife, Billie, on today's episode as well. Welcome, babe.
Hey, welcome. Thank you so much. Intro like that, I'll come on any day.
Yeah. Look, on today's episode, we're going to explore the intersection of money and relationships, and it's all about teamwork, how couples can become equal participants in creating wealth.
Yeah, look, this is such an important topic because honestly, let's face it, in many relationships, one person tends to take on most of the financial responsibilities. And that's whether it's managing the budget, whether it's making investments, or even just tracking the bills. What this actually can do, though, it leads to an imbalance that's actually hard to sustain. So, how do we actually rebalance, or how can you rebalance the load and ensure that both partners are actually equally invested in their financial journey? Well, as Mark said, that's exactly what we're diving into today. So, we're going to be covering why shared participation matters, common barriers, and also some practical strategies to actually make wealth creation a true partnership. So, let's start with why it's so important for both partners to actively participate in wealth creation. For one, it actually creates a balance and shared responsibility, right?
Yeah, look, exactly right. When one partner takes on absolutely everything, it can lead to burnout for them and disengagement for the others. The others, right? How many people in this relationship?
Yeah.
For the other partner, right? Yeah, when there's no pineapples here. Also blame, right? Like if only one person understands the finances, it leaves the others vulnerable in case of unexpected life events like illness, job loss, you know,
Yeah.
even worse.
And look, yeah, well, or worse, yeah. And look, another big reason is that teamwork actually fosters that trust in relationships. So when both partners are involved, there's less room for misunderstanding or resentment. Okay. So you're making decisions together, and that transparency actually strengthens the relationship. And let's not forget about the practical side as well. Like two heads are better than one. So collaborating can actually lead to better ideas, smarter strategies, and just a more diverse approach to managing and growing your wealth. And look, the story behind this episode, though, and how Mark and I decided on talking about this, it stems back years ago. And I mean, way back to when we first started seeing each other, dating back in the day. And, Mark and I, we met obviously, that we moved in together, and then we straight away put all our we started, we started on our journey. And I grew up in a household where we didn't really talk about money. It was just one of those things. My mum and dad, we lived paycheck to paycheck. They were both on pensions, so I didn't actually have a education when it comes to money and money handling, so to speak. Yeah, like they did the best job they could, like, and absolutely always did the best for us. But anyway, so I didn't actually have a really good positive relationship with money. So I would just always grew up with those mantras: can't afford it, don't have enough money, I'll never be able to do this, I'll never be able to do that. So I grew that and took that into my adulthood. And then when I started working my very first full-time job, one of the things that you could do when you were working full time, and one of the things that I believed is that you were really making it in the world, is that you had a checkbook. You had your very own checkbook. And I could not wait to get myself one. And I raced out. As soon as I knew I could get one, I had it and had my name on it. It was just this beautiful checkbook. And I started writing checks left, right, and center. Um, Not truly fully understanding the whole concept about how you should use them responsibly. So anyway, fast forward, Mark and I started seeing each other. We were doing something. We were going to go somewhere one day, and Mark's going, we're planning for it. And he's like, how can you afford to do this? I said, that's fine. You just write the check, give it to them. And then when the money comes into my account, then, they'll get paid. And he's like, that's not how it works. I said, yeah. And he's like, babe, that's actually illegal. Like, it's highly illegal. I'm like, what do you mean? Anyway, he goes, show me your checkbook. So I've picked it up and I'm like, here, have a look at it. It's so beautiful, right? Look, it's got my name on it. It's so thing, blah, blah. So he's taken the checkbook and he's actually just ripped it in half. And I'm like, the hell? What are you doing? That was my checkbook. And he's like he did it it was just, I was shocked. But then I sort of saw the funny side to it later. And he's like, babe, you can't do that. You cannot actually continue living like that because, that's just not the way things are done. So he did it from an absolutely beautiful place from his heart for me. So anyway, I thought to myself, okay, this guy knows all about money. he knows how to, how it all works. So I'm just going to let him do all our financial decisions from here on in because I'm not smart enough to do it. I obviously don't know. I don't understand, blah, blah, blah. And then fast forward again, a few years, we are pregnant with our second daughter. Like I'm heavily pregnant. And we pull up, we go to the Woolworths store, a supermarket in Australia, and we're at the groceries. We're getting all our groceries. Our eldest daughter's in Mark's arms. She's already peeled a banana. She's already eating it. We've gone to pay for our groceries and we've tapped the card or we've put the card in and it didn't work. I'm like, okay. Then we got our other card out, put the card in, didn't work. And then Mark's just gone, well, we've got no money. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, we can't buy these groceries today. And like, I'm mortified because we had a big trolley load of, groceries because I'm ready to give birth to our second daughter and I was stocking up everything at home. So we ended up paying for that one banana. And as we're walking through the car park, I'm devastated. Mark's laughing and I'm like, what are you laughing at? And he's like, it's all good. We're at the bottom. The only way's up. And like, I absolutely could have killed him because I'm thinking, mate, this is the absolute bottom of the barrel. Like I'm absolutely mortified with it. But that comment and that whole experience really hit me, really smacked me between the eyes. Because I remember thinking to myself, I remember looking at him after thinking to myself, I could totally kill you right now. But then the thought was, the thought then was, well, holy moly, if Mark dropped dead on me right then and there, I would have had no idea, absolutely no idea of what money was coming in and what money was going out. Okay. Because I left it all in his hands. And he, over the years, had tried to get me to look at it all, but I'm just like, no, I'm not good with money. I'm not good with money. I'm not smart enough. You just do it. So I was actually just not being active in our financial house. And walking across that that car park, I just thought, shit, I need to change something because I can't ever have this happen again. And it wasn't mismanagement on Mark's part at all. It was just happened to be that's where we were at that moment. And so I remember getting in the car, driving, Mark and I drove back home. We've got out of the car, walked inside, we've sorted out Jazzy, and then we sat down at the kitchen table basically. And I said, Mark, all right, what do I need to know? How can I become an active participant in our relationship? So that was a bit of a long story for the reason why we're doing this podcast today. So hopefully that gives you an understanding as to what it means that you really do need to be actually equal participation when it comes to your wealth creation. Yeah.
And the cool thing about it is we were literally at that bottom, right? There was just a little bit of
Oh, we
timing
were.
issues. Our business was growing so much. We weren't pulling enough money out of the business. And that's another lesson we'll share for another day, right? We
Yeah.
learned not long after that, you got to start paying yourself first before you do all this. And yeah, I still get goosebumps,
Great
babe,
lessons.
when you talk about it, right? Because it was such a cool
Yeah.
learning experience. So
Oh, yeah.
let's dive into like some of the barriers, right, that can prevent couples from being equal participants. And one of the most common one is lack of confidence. And without a
Mhm.
doubt, Billy would have felt that way, right? But way back then, right, she wouldn't have had the confidence to be able to run the family household. To, if I couldn't do anything, and I've seen I've seen it time and time again. Someone's always smarter than the other in different areas of life. Definitely with Billy and ourselves. Yep, I'm good with numbers. I'm good
Yeah.
with money. Billy's better in every other part of our life. But you would have seen
Yeah.
it as well, babe, in your experience.
Oh, absolutely. Look, and just like me, one of the partners might actually feel that they're not good with money, or they're not as knowledgeable about the finances and stuff like that. So this actually can make them hesitant to get involved, which is what it did to me. So even though they absolutely have the ability to learn and contribute, they just actually don't. They just hold back like I was. Another barrier we have is time. So like honestly, let's be honest. Life is busy and it feels like it gets busier and
Mm.
busier. But if one partner's already got a system in place, it actually can feel easier just to let them handle it. But the convenience often comes at a cost of this shared engagement, or a fear of not knowing where everything is as well. And finally, there's also that fear of conflict. Okay. So money is a touchy subject, or it can be a touchy subject in relationships. And some people actually avoid getting involved because they don't want to rock the boat or just have those uncomfortable conversations.
And then, look, the good news is, right, all these barriers can be overcome with a little effort and intentionally, right? You need to make sure you
Absolutely.
understand that you want to want this.
All right, so then let's look at some practical strategies, okay, for creating a more balanced financial partnership. So first of all, start by dividing up responsibilities. Okay, instead of one person doing everything, split the tasks. So, for example, if one partner could actually handle the day-to-day budgeting, while the other one researches some long-term investments, or you could alternate the roles to keep them or to keep things dynamic. And just to see what actually works as well.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, babe. Another great tip
Mm,
is to learn together, right? Take a financial literacy course, there's a great company out there called the International Academy of Wealth. They might have some good courses you could get into.
mm,
Read some books. Wealth Rewide there's a book there as well. Or listen to podcasts like this, but do it as a couple, right? Learn from there.
yeah,
And if you know it all, right? If and I mean that in the not in the literal sense, but if you know more than the other person, help them along, help them to come up, right? There's that old saying, right? All boats rise with the tide. Likely as
yeah,
well. So, mate, you always want to help your person. You want to, like, what I love about Billy and I is we make each other a better person, right? We don't
yeah.
drag each other down on purpose. And if we are catching ourselves, right, we're always constantly going, hey, that's not right. And we realign ourselves and always wanting to become better versions of ourselves is what we were yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, something we've spoken about in other episodes are go on regular money dates. Okay, like they're a game changer. So set aside that time, whether it's weekly or monthly, to sit down as a couple and actually review your finances, discuss your goals, and just make decisions together. Okay, it's simple but effective way to stay on the same page. And again, don't forget to celebrate your wins as a team. Whether it's paying off debt, whether it's hitting a savings goal, or just actually making a great investment, just recognizing those achievements actually reinforces your relationship and your partnership, and that keeps that momentum going.
Yeah, without a doubt, guys. And so how do we actually foster collaboration, right? There's some tools out there that we can quickly look at that just starting stuff, right? Yep, there's beginner tools, intermediate, advanced, etc., etc. But first up, look at some shared budgeting apps, right? Like the YNAB or Mint or the CBA one or whatever. Now, I'm not going to go
Yeah.
into banks in general, right? We're just going to leave that
No.
alone. But these apps, they actually make it easier for both partners to stay informed and, more importantly, guys, involved.
Yeah. Another good tool, Mark, is actually a joint financial calendar as well. So use it to actually track important dates like bill payments or investment reviews. It's just a really simple way to keep both of you accountable.
Yeah. And if you're looking to build knowledge together, guys, yep, I shamelessly plug the International Academy of Wealth, which is one of our businesses. But there are other simpler ones out there, like course, or not simpler ones, but there are others out there if you want to. Coursera or Udemy offer great courses on personal finance and investing. But learning as a team, it can be incredibly empowering. The key is to find systems that work for you both and make
100%.
collaboration feel natural, not forced.
100%. Cool. So I think that actually brings us to the end of today's episode.
Hmm.
Just remember that wealth creation doesn't have to be a solo journey. Okay. It's something that you and your partner can build together step by step. So if you're feeling inspired to rebalance your financial responsibilities, start small. Okay. Have a conversation, set a goal, or plan your first money date. Get it in your calendar as well. Okay. Make sure it's a non negotiable every week. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just got to start.
Yeah, exactly, Don. Thank you for joining today. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who might benefit. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It really helps us grow this community.
Yep. Until next time, keep collaborating, keep growing, keep thriving together. So see you next time.
Bye for now.